check us. Excellent connection. Looks like we are good on YouTube. There we go. Let's see. Looks like we are good on Facebook too. Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning. We're doing another Mindful Monday live broadcast for you. How's it going, Nick?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing well. So, as you all know, we've been hopping on here the last few Mondays to help you start your week off in a mindful manner. All right. Helping you stay fully engaged, fully tuned in, locked into the here and now so that you can more effectively align how you respond to what you experience and the actions that you take, the habits that you practice with the person that you want to be, or the things that you want to accomplish in your life. The underlying theme of everything that we do at Balance Period is you being the best version of yourself so that you can be the best example possible for our next generation of what it means to live a happy, healthy, wholehearted life. So, for today, we are going to start off with a mindful moment, a brief breathing exercise that you can do from anywhere at any time of the day. So, even if you're not tuning into this live, you can do it whenever you see this, but it's going to help you reconnect to the here and now so you can fully engage with where you are and be where you are. So, Nick, I'm going to hand the floor over to you. Can you please guide us through a brief breathing exercise to help us reconnect to the here and now?
Yeah. So today we'll do one that I highly recommend trying this when you're in bed to go to sleep, but it's also something good that we can do during the day as well. And what we're going to do, I like to just call it breathe and release. So what's going to happen is when you breathe in, you're going to contract whatever muscle or body part I'm asking you to contract. And then when you exhale, you're going to release that body part. And we're going to work our way up from our feet all the way to the top of our head. All right. I'll count us down 3, 2, 1, and we'll get started. 3, 2, 1. Inhale and flex your feet. On that exhale, release. Good. Now inhale and flex your legs. I'm talking from the ankles all the way up to the thighs. Just get a tight squeeze. On that exhale, release. Same thing, flex your stomach, your chest muscles. Feel the muscles in your back tense up on that inhale. On that exhale, just let it all fall down and relax. And the exact same thing with the arms. Flex those arms and then relax. Let's do the hands. Flex your fingers. Maybe you make a fist. Maybe you stretch your hands out wide. Then release. And last, but don't do it too hard, your neck and your head. Go ahead and give that a tight squeeze. And then relax. Perfect. So, with this mindful moment, the thing about it is taking that time to center your attention in on that contraction when you're inhaling, all the way to relaxing on the exhale, is something I use to pull me back into the present moment, which is the purpose of mindfulness. So, feel free to give this a try in the bed. I find it to be extremely relaxing when you're trying to fall asleep or if you're struggling to fall asleep, but it's something that works during the day as well.
Appreciate that, Nick. You see, I'm looking down. I am actually in the chat right now on both um, Facebook and YouTube, and I am putting the link to our Mindful Monday newsletter. All right, Mindful Monday newsletter. So we have a newsletter that goes out every Monday. It starts off with a mindful moment. So it's with a breathing exercise with a guided prompt that you can work through to pause and breathe and reconnect to the here and now, similar to what we just did together. So I'm putting that link in both of these chats here so that you can tap in to our Mindful Monday newsletter. No, it's coming to your inbox every week. Not only do you get a mindful moment, but you also get a motivational quote. You also get resources that are connected to the podcast episodes that we post on a weekly basis. And you get the podcast episode that we did post for that week and all of the links where you can find it right on your favorite listening platform. So check out the link in the comment section, and we look forward to serving you up some ways that you can continue to increase and strengthen your mindfulness muscle over time. All right. So, Nick, let's do a brief kind of reflection a little bit on last week. So, how was last week for you?
It was good. I recovered from COVID, and it was interesting though because at the end of COVID, me dealing with COVID, I had a IBS flare up, and so I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome back in like 2019, and that was something that just like got super crazy during that time. I ended up having hernia surgery. We found out I had a hernia. It was a big ordeal. Well, during I was able to get off medication, not have to take any medication. I thought I was like, oh man, I cured it. I don't have to worry about it, this and that ever again. It was crazy that with my immune system being so weakened during COVID, I had a flare up to where it was the exact same as it was back when I used to deal with it. But I'll say the only difference now is the fact that I dealt with it means that it wasn't something overwhelming or something new. I literally sat there and I just spent 2 days just breathing through everything that I would deal with, and now I'm back to being perfectly fine and normal. But it's crazy looking back at it because back then, like I was calling hotlines for panic attacks because it was just that bad. And looking back on it, it was like, man, we like this is a journey because going looking back, I was calling a hotline. Now I just sit there, breathe, and do whatever it is I'm doing, and life continues. So it's pretty dope.
Interesting. And like thinking about the connection between the habits we practice and the things that we experience, did you recognize any habits that you had practiced back in the day that may have contributed to the IBS?
Oh, that was so. I think it was a culmination of things. I was like switching back and forth between a lot of different ways to eat, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And one of them was
Mm,
extremely alkaline. So, what I learned is that when you do like this 100% alkaline, don't do anything acidic, you're actually throwing your stomach out of balance because you need stomach acid to digest your food. And so what was happening was my stomach acid production got so low that my food wasn't digesting. And that's what
mm,
led all the catalyst things to happen because we checked to see if I had H. pylori, which is like some other intestine parasite issue, like all kinds of stuff. I just had too low stomach acid. And they wanted to put me on Prilosec, but I wasn't taking that shit for long periods of time because that'll shut down your net. Like I took it once. I had a normal day the next day. Didn't take it after that. I thought I was going to die because it damn near shuts down your actual stomach acid production by taking it. So
mm.
I had to get away from everything altogether. So that's what it really ended up being was just experimenting, and then that came up from it. And so yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. Well, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. Anyone who is tuning in right now, if you ever have any questions for us, know that we are here as resources. What we do full time is that we are coaches. So we live this lifestyle that we talk about every week on the podcast and what you see us talk about on our social media. We live this life intentionally so that we can more effectively help guide other people to live happier, healthier, more wholehearted lives through adopting habits that allow them to expand their level of self awareness, right? To understand the things that they are doing that are influencing their quality of life and making mindful adjustments, right? Tiny tweaks to how they are spending their time and energy so that they can align their lives with optimal function, right? Why not be here and not experience optimal health mentally, physically, and emotionally? All right, so that's what we're here for. So be sure to leave comments, shoot us any questions that you have as you are tuning in. All right. So yeah, for me, last week, I mean, we if you live in the Midwest, you know there was a lot of snow. It was interesting because like I don't remember how long ago, maybe like a little over a week ago, I was thinking I was like, man, it'll be nice to like get a day full of rain. Like I love rain personally, but I hadn't experienced, a lot of rain in a while because we're in the middle of winter. It's the craziest thing. It was like last Wednesday, it was like 60 degrees and it rained all day. Like it literally rained from the time I was awake until the time I went to bed. So I was like, oh wow, it's pretty cool. I actually got a day full of rain. But that rain then turned into like sleet, which then turned into snow. And we got probably about a foot of snow, I would think. It was
Yeah.
probably between 10 and
At
12
least.
inches. From raining for a whole day, it then snowed for an entire day. Like it was really interesting. It just kind of just dumped down on us. So, um, life at home was a little bit different. My girlfriend was working from home, so this space that I'm using to record right now, I did not have. I was sitting on the floor in my bedroom working, so that was a little bit interesting, just making that adjustment. But last week was a pretty good week. I ended up getting something that I wanted to talk about in the mail. So last year I talked about using Everly Well, and this year I'm starting off. My first test is I'm trying to see if you all can see that. It's a men's
Okay.
health test. So it's testing the, major hormones that, men are supposed to have that help them, feel more energized. And so I'm going to take this test this week, send it in, get my results. And I utilize tests like these so that I can expand my awareness of what's going on in my body so that I can more effectively manage my time and energy with how I choose to spend my time, right? And so I'm excited to take this one. I haven't taken this one before. Last year I did like the vitamin D, I did the like blood sugar test, I did the inflammation and cortisol test. So it's going to be interesting to see what this one comes back as. It's going to test my testosterone, it's going to test my cortisol, my DHEA, and my estradiol. I think that's probably like the estrogen in my system, just to make sure that my testosterone is and estrogen are at a balanced state. So I'm looking forward to that. But I got that in last week, and I'm looking forward to taking it this week so that I can continue to do what I do best, which is study myself and make adjustments along the way. So
So,
yeah, all right. So for this week, just wanted to highlight the podcast. So we dropped a podcast yesterday, and the podcast was entitled Checking In with Yourself. So we talked about just the value and the benefit of prioritizing time during your day to check in with yourself. And we talked about being able to do that through setting mindful moment reminders in your phone. It's something that we also talk about all the time. Setting those gentle reminders to vibrate at certain times throughout the day, and when it vibrates, it prompts you to pause, to breathe, and refocus your energy on your values, refocus your energy on how you're currently spending your time, and determining if it's serving a useful purpose or not, so that you can make those tiny tweaks and adjustments to how you're managing your energy so that you can keep yourself aligned with the person that you want to be and the things that you want to accomplish. So, checking in with yourself isn't just beneficial for that, it's also tied to our mental and emotional well being. So, just us feeling good from the inside out can come from us prioritizing time to check in with ourselves. So, be sure to check that episode out. That was episode 149 of the show. Looking forward to bringing you episode 150 this week. But just wanted to highlight that as we have you all live this morning. Any notes that you want to make about that episode, Nick?
nah, I'm gonna let people just jump in and have their own experience. It was a good mindful moment though, so look forward to that.
Perfect. All right, I got another link that I want to drop in there in the chats here. Let's see, copy. Yep, copy link address. So this link is for our energy management guide, and so we created this guide last year at the end of 2021, and the intention was so that we can, for free, right, help people more mindfully manage their energy, help them understand the value of paying attention to how they're spending their energy, and then making the adjustments. We have some recommendations on there on ways that you can improve your quality of life through the habits you practice. So making small adjustments that can help you incrementally improve your quality of life over time. So I threw that in there just so that you all have access to that as well. You also see it in the notes of this live stream on YouTube, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, just wanted to highlight that and let you all know that's something else that we are offering for you to help you incrementally improve your quality of life so you can live your best life from the inside out. There is one article that I wanted to draw our attention to today. So I'm going to share my screen. But it was really interesting. So I'm subscribed to a plethora of email newsletters, and one of them is a weekly newsletter called Health Hacked. They also have a podcast that's pretty good too. Highly recommend you all check that out. But this week they offered up just some top headlines from around the way. And let me pull this up real quick. Window, entire screen. I'm just going to share my entire screen. So it's going to look a little. There we go. All right. So here, and they were talking about this, this death rate of diabetes. And I briefly talked about it last week on like me paying closer attention to my paying closer attention to how the foods I'm eating are influencing my body's ability to operate at a high level during the day and to get high quality sleep at night. And diabetes is something that is it. I mean, you see this here, right? 100,000 people died last year from diabetes. And what's heavily influenced, right? Heavily influences the experience that you have if you have diabetes and you're actually getting it is your diet. So just seeing that something that can be averted, something that doesn't have to look this way is happening. It for me it prompted, just the thought of the power of taking accountability for our quality of lives and understanding that, even if you have a family history of diabetes, you can make adjustments to how you spend your time, to how you or what you choose to consume. And you don't have to have the same outcome as the people that are passing away from something that can be averted if you take time to understand yourself and to make adjustments that help your body operate at a healthier and higher level. So I just wanted to highlight that because, yeah, it's sad to see. It's a very big number, but I know that if you're listening to this right now, you have an opportunity to make adjustments to your lifestyle so that we can curb this moving forward and help people continue to live happier, healthier lives. Any thoughts or any notes that you want to make on that, Nick?
No, you covered it. That was a good way to explain it because I mean, at the end of the day, it is a lot of it does fall on our ability to be mindful of the habits that we practice and the lives that we live because that is what makes up the experience that we have.
And I'm just gonna do a quick Google search because I love Google. How to? Oh yeah, as you see, I was moving some crypto, but let's see how to manage. And hey, not even manage. I'm gonna put how to prevent because that's something that we can do. Look at these, right? First thing that pops up, Healthline, which is something that we reference all the time. It says reduce your total carb intake. That's something that you can manage, right? That's something that you have control over. Exercise regularly. That's something you have control over. Drink water as your primary beverage. That's something that we can control, right? All of these things are things that we can control. Things that are free pertains to our choices because we can exercise for free. We can reduce our you know carb intake. We spend money on groceries, but we can do that for free. Right? We can drink water, and that's not free, but regardless. All that to say, we have everything we need to improve our quality of life. Is just we're not aware of how our actions are influencing our quality of life. And for most of us, we get so caught up in our daily lives and what's going on in our mind, and we just like we don't pay attention. And because we don't experience these negative effects of diabetes today, we feel like we're good, we're okay. But 5 years, 10 years down the line of not living a healthy lifestyle, trust me, that's going to compound until the point where you might have a limb that gets taken, or you might be one of those, people that unfortunately passes away from something that could have been avoided based on the habits that you practice. So, shout out to Google, shout out to Healthline. I'm telling you, man, just Google stuff. You'll definitely get something that you can work with. So, just wanted to highlight that and bring your awareness to the fact that you have an opportunity, regardless of where you are currently right now. If you have breath, if you're listening to this, you can incrementally improve your quality of life from this day forward if you choose to take greater accountability for your quality of life and make tiny tweaks on a daily basis to how you spend your time and energy and to what you choose to consume. All right. So that's it. That's all. I don't have anything else, Nick. You any final points that you want to make?
Man, as always, be kind to yourself the same way that you would a friend in need. The more you're kind to yourself, the easier it's going to be for you to be kinder to others.
Cool. Yeah, and just the sentiments from today, we have an opportunity to incrementally improve our quality of life based on what we believe about ourselves and the habits we choose to practice. So, first and foremost, be sure to take care of yourself. Focus on taking care of yourself from this day forward throughout the remainder of this year and beyond. Be sure to prioritize time for self care so you can keep your cup full. And then you can use that full cup to fill the cups of others. And also, you don't have to be perfect in order to be great. I say that all the time, but I just wanted to remind you that that is the case. So just focus your energy on being great today. And that is just taking actions that you have identified will help incrementally improve your quality of life. Being kind to yourself, being patient with yourself as you make those tiny tweaks and adjustments. and just continue to move forward. All right. So enjoy the rest of your day. Be sure to tap into the Mindful Monday newsletter that I put a link to in the comments. Also, be sure to download our energy management guide so that you can begin to more mindfully manage your energy and make it a great week by being yourself. Right? Be present, be yourself, and make it a great week. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. We look forward to seeing you all this time next week. Peace.